Hi,
Hi,
I'm Brad,
Chelsea.
and we're BK Book Club.
What?
I love it. So this episode is the beginning of a new book, and with the beginning of a new book, we decided to try things just a little bit differently.
Switching it up.
We now have the food that we'll be making. We'll actually post and put up for you guys in advance so that you can cook along with us and potentially eat what we ate.
Join us in our food journey as well.
Exactly. Tonight we did chicken parm grilled cheese, which was
So delicious. So
a lot.
Half of the grilled cheese was as big as my head.
And we split it in half and still only ate half of our halves.
So we ate a quarter.
Yes. It was great.
It was so yummy.
It was delicious, and I'm really excited for leftovers, but it was just a lot.
It's a lot.
And with that too, you'll see that we are now couch loungers.
Back to couches.
I figure that the red blow-up beanbag chairs are just not the most practical or comfortable for a potentially hour-long episode, if not longer.
Especially if you guys notice, I was always moving.
Always moving. Can't get comfortable this one. Also, maybe perhaps we bring them out for a special occasion of some sort. But for right now, I think that this setup is just a little bit more intimate. And we like to have the idea of having you guys a little bit closer and more eye level with us. Yeah. You want to talk about your week? Or we jump into the first 12 chapters.
Besides telling you, or I guess regardless of me telling you that I was close to a mentee bee, that's just like today. But my week actually wasn't. I went to my cousin's engagement party.
That was yesterday.
Shout out Sammy. Tuesday.
Yeah, today's Thursday.
Yes,
Sorry.
and I hadn't seen her in a while because she lived in Montana.
Mm.
We're definitely not as close as we were growing up. We were besties growing up, and it's just she moved to Montana, I moved to Colorado, so we see each other as much as we can. But I haven't seen her since December. I guess it wasn't too long ago. Well, I guess that's almost a year, actually.
Yeah,
that was a lot longer. We're a few months away, but
time stamping is weird because these episodes are coming out staggered, and we're about like a month ahead of the time.
Yeah.
So as you're watching this, it'll be October, but it is currently September for us.
Still pretty close to
Very
December.
close. We are in fall.
So I finally went actually to restaurants today in person and handed out 20 resumes. But I got dressed because I went to brunch first. Also, this is a tank top. This isn't like my bra sticking out.
It's your bra, don't worry.
I just thought you saw the pink and I was like, I'm not flashing you just to let you know.
Just a little bit.
But I got dressed at like 11. We're in Vancouver, so it was still rainy-ish and cold. Yeah. And then I went to breakfast. And
it was cool. Today was cool. Like it was.
No.
Oh, I was freezing all day.
Because I wore a sweater. And I was
that's right. You told me
walking
you were
around the Vancouver waterfront and then walking around Camas and just absolutely sweating. And for the bigger breasted ladies, you get that boob sweat and then you get the rash from the boob sweat and I'm just ready for actual fall. It's supposed to be one day next week is going to be in the 80s.
I'm going to go look at the river and float.
I
will take in the last vestiges of sun as much as I can.
After Labor Day weekend, I want it 60s. Or colder.
I will take the heat.
Well, between 50s and 60s.
I mean, I don't like the sweltering heat. Don't get me wrong. I'm more of a low 70s is like my ideal temperature.
Oh, okay.
But I don't mind it being in the 60s because I can wear like hoodies. And such.
Yeah. I like the 70s fine, but it was my own fault. I didn't look at the weather. I didn't dress appropriately, so I was just walking around and I don't work out, so
yeah.
How was your week though?
My week was good. I finally was home.
For one day?
For one day. As you can see, I'm no longer home. I did.
They barely know what your home looks like.
Honestly, there's only one episode
from my home. We've only done one episode from your home and one from mine.
Yeah.
The rest have been from other people's homes.
It's interesting because I was actually home for a couple of days. I got home on Friday. And then I feel like I had told myself that I would give myself a low-key weekend, but the only day I didn't do anything was Sunday. Because Saturday I went to a block party with you. I almost said black party
Yeah.
for no reason.
My dad and stepmom have a concert in their backyard every year. It's the band Soul Seed. It's like a
Reggae pop.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. They do it.
Minus us getting rained out for the first half of it, but other than
This
that,
was the first year that there was a lot of rain, but they've been doing it for 10 years. It's actually it is a really cool, fun event. But I am like Cinderella. I leave at or before midnight. And he was like, oh, can I stay? I'm like, yeah, you know these people, you know my family. What time did you get home?
The people that I knew didn't show up until like 10 o'clock. So,
yeah,
and then you were ready to bounce by like 11:30, and I was like, I'm not done yet. I didn't get home.
They came earlier than 10. I feel like
it was staggered.
Yeah, that's fair. But they all just waited until the rain stopped.
Yes. And then I didn't get home until 2:45.
I was home by midnight.
Not something I normally do. And so basically Sunday I spent all day in bed, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Not because I was hungover, not because I felt sick or anything, but because I was like, I just am very content sitting in my bed that I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
And just doing nothing. And I mean, did some things, like I watered my plants.
Can't remember if I did anything Sunday.
No.
I don't think I did anything
We
Monday,
texted back and forth a little bit.
which is doing a lot for me.
Getting a response from her that's a lot.
That is 100%, which is so funny. I used to just be like, now I'm like, I don't even know where my phone is.
Today was the first time I went to the store and didn't even bring my phone with me. I was like, I don't need it.
Half the time I get into my car and I go to play music.
Yeah. That was the only reason I realized I didn't have my phone is because I want music on, and I was like, oh, I'm not even going to go back and get it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, if I'm just doing this, but it was like I also needed.
It was just Safeway, like.
I was also going to someplace new, so I was like, I don't know how to get here.
Way back when we used to actually just wander around until we found where we needed to go. Now we use GPS.
I don't know about you, but I always printed my MapQuest.
Oh, MapQuest. Well, I mean, to be fair, where I grew up, I knew as long as I kept heading in one specific direction, I was going to hit one of 4 main. Yeah. I lived basically in a square.
I lived in Gresham, so it's not very big, and I already knew how to get everywhere there. But other places or like people's houses.
Yeah.
But also, it was only a few years of me driving without like smartphones.
Must have been nice.
Sorry, because
we had Garmin's, like the actual like GPS devices that you had to spend.
Wasn't there another
MapQuest or something like that?
I feel like there was one that had it was a name.
Yeah, like one and something like that. I don't know. Anyway. So.
I also got to see my nannies this week.
Oh yes.
And Farley actually recognizes who I am. She just turned 2.
Wow.
So the last time I went to her house, she realized that I'm TT. And then at her birthday party, it's always so nice when they look at you and smile when you get there because you're like, oh my gosh.
There's some recognition there. Yeah. It's almost like when I was first, I mean, not so great children dogs, but when I first started coming here often enough, and then Klondike finally started recognizing who I was.
Yeah.
And especially say we go to a dog park or something like that, even if I'm in a group of people, he looks for me if he knows that his dad's not around.
Yeah. I love it. And the girls are just, when I was leaving on Wednesday, I was like, oh, can we get something love? It's always instead of love. Give me a hug, can you show myself love? Sometimes it's a high five, sometimes it's a wave.
Yeah, you're being respectful and letting them have their own.
Well, and that's how kind of Skylar is. I'm never gonna force
people to hug and kiss and all that stuff.
At Soul Seed, actually, one of the guys that we had love, there's the 2 that we weren't finding where. I don't remember. I got stepped out one and I helped him up because he asked, and then he went to give me a hug. I said, "Oh, no, thank you." I said, "I don't really like hugs." And then
minutes later,
I hugged the girl that she was like, "It was so nice meeting you." I'm like, "You too." Gave her a hug, and then I was like, I just didn't want to hug you.
To be fair, it's a man. So.
Yeah, and she's the wife of one of the neighborhood people. Are you
talking about the guy that got nailed in the head with a speaker?
No.
Oh.
The girl that did that, though, was the one I hugged.
That's what I think when you were saying.
And it's her brother-in-law that she did it to.
No.
Yeah.
She went to give me a hug hadn't talked to her the entire evening.
Just sweet.
Wanted
Sweet
to be
lady.
my friend suddenly, and in the process, knocked over a speaker and nailed her brother-in-law.
This is the thing about the Soul Seed concert. Most everybody is drinking because
inebriated.
it's like they all live on the same street,
It's a
so
walking
everyone's
distance.
walking home. So everyone gets there's Jello shots.
Yeah.
There's all sorts
Yeah,
of
after you left,
drinks.
after most of the people left, it was like they were just handing out the extra liquor.
Yeah. And then my family is really big on Jaeger bombs.
Which I haven't done one prior to Saturday, and I can't even tell you how many years.
I haven't done a Jaeger bomb actually in a while, and it's because I just like happen to disappear when I hear it. I'm like, bye.
I just don't like Jaeger. I don't like
Yeah.
liquor. I don't like black licorice, so it's
did
not.
A Veterans Day in Arizona, and over the 3-4 days we were there, I'm not kidding you. I think we did at least 45 Jaeger bombs. It would just all of a sudden we hear, "Who said Jaeger bomb?" It was terrible, but so fun. I love my family a lot.
Yeah, step right on it.
I felt it. Okay.
So
Now we get to the book.
now to get to the book. We are currently in the first 12 chapters of A Court of Mist and Fury. I almost just had a nip slip.
You say 12, 13.
So we read up to chapter 13.
Oh, yeah.
So, because we read chapter 12.
Yeah, we left off a little
like-
cliffhanger. I'm so excited
So-
to read tonight. I'm so excited to get into this because I already like this book better than I like.
I agree. And I remember, so a couple of things that I wanted to talk about before we even
sorry.
get, no. Before we even get
Okay,
into like the
excited.
questions, like, so I of course went through ChatGPT and I grabbed a couple of questions. I grabbed 15 in total. We don't necessarily have to go through all 15, just good to have guidance. But before we did that, I did have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, just key points that popped out to me.
Okay.
In our last episode, episode 5, I was talking about, we had a little discussion about how I personally feel like Feyre has gone from one prison to another. And at the time, you were like, no, she loves him. It's going to be fine. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. She does
Yeah, my
love him.
feelings have changed actually.
But then,
Fuck Tamlin.
but then, honestly,
I would just like
the
to say.
first 12 chapters of this book is basically her, especially the end of chapter 12. She gets locked in the house.
I was already switching over to
Ugh.
Team Rizan
Roseanne,
from
yeah.
the last book, but
I
now
just-
I'm like literally fuck Tamlin. I actually hate him because
It makes me wonder, and this is just circling back to something that's still effervescently living out
and I
in the
wonder if
ether.
we have the same thoughts.
It's something that's living out there that we still haven't really broached or talked about or touched yet, is that during that conversation she had with Elise, before she
There
gets
was the
put under the
second
mountain, there
thing.
was a second
And do you
thing.
think it has to do with
And
marrying?
I think it has something to do with being married, because it doesn't, ever since the curse has been broken, it seems like Tamlin is using any and every excuse to keep Feyre
Away from everything.
away from everything.
Everything. And that bitch.
I know.
And Ianthe, whatever the fuck her name is.
Follow up to that. Give me a second.
Sorry.
No, I just want to go through the list that I have.
We're supposed to not swear, and then over here, we just need to have a warning. This is we're reading smut. We know this is for adults.
Also, there is a disclaimer inside of every single episode that is
we
listed
are
where
talking about a smut book, so
Exactly. Your discretion is advised. It's inside of our.
if you're a child, what are you doing?
I have it everywhere on YouTube, and I literally have it set up saying
Okay,
that
good,
this is
good,
not
good.
okay for children.
Yeah, because I forget.
You kind of jumped to the last thing that I wanted to talk
Sorry.
about, which is fine. We can jump there and then we'll just circle back. But I agree, the priestesses. Who are these heifers?
Well, and I don't know if it's all of them because both Lucian and Rosand have an issue with Ianthe.
But it seemed like Rosand had a problem with all priestesses, her in particular,
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
And then to listen to the things that, like, Ianthe has been very Tamlin motivated,
Yes.
in the sense that, like, Lucian was like, her powers are starting to grow, her powers are starting to show,
He
she
is-
needs to
I
train,
know. I
so she knows how to
do
take
like
care of these
Lucian
things.
because he realizes, like,
I'm on the fence with Lucian as much as I want to bang him. At the same time, like, if you're going to be a petty little bitch and be like, I can't tell you because I swear my loyalty to this guy I haven't.
but I wonder if it's more than that. Like, if it's he can't go against him.
Clearly.
Like if there was some sort of
And maybe that would
magical thing.
What if that's the thing when they get married? His power of being the High Lord over the Spring Court becomes enforced on her, because right now she's almost like a free agent.
Yeah.
Especially
because Roseanne was like, you don't
belong to anybody.
She's like, he's my High Lord and I'm whatever, and he's like.
And I'm also wondering if that's why Roseanne did the once a week you are forced to be in this court, is because it keeps her as a part of 1 week out of the month.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I wonder if that keeps her from being tied down to a specific court. Which, by the way,
she has a little bit of every court in her.
Which, by the way, the night court, Roseanne's house.
I'm so team Roseanne. I'm like, literally take me away. In a heartbeat. Open windows, warm.
No windows. There are no windows. Yeah. It's just open to the elements and it's warm.
My favorite thing to do is when it's a warm breeze and I get to be outside and take a nap. I fall asleep like that, which is a huge thing for me.
A big romantic thing for me, and kind of on the queer side, is the big I am gaudy enough that I want all of the sheer drapes that are billowing in the breeze that.
I also
I love that.
The night court because, and I don't know if this is for the whole night court, but for her at least specifically, he's getting her pants. And a shirt, where in the other court, they're like, no, you have to wear a dress because other people are going to think something of it.
Yeah.
People are going to care if I'm wearing pants or a dress. Literally suck my dick.
You have to have one in order to wear pants.
These first 12 chapters, I'm so angry with Tamlin that I want him to die.
It's one of the first times that
literally die.
It's going backwards. It's regression.
Yeah.
They were so in love, and then we're starting to get into the actual conversations.
Before my thing got deleted,
okay,
I had put in there. I'm like, I don't even know if Tamlin actually loves her.
Yeah, I don't. I think he's using her as a pawn.
He will give her this much freedom and then take it away. But why can she not have any freedom there? But in night court, he's like, do whatever you want.
Well, it almost seems like Roseanne has more power than Tamlin.
Yeah.
And I feel because Roseanne is dealing specifically in the creepy crawlies that are living inside the mountain that he is currently residing over, I'm wondering if that that kind of hierarchy has such a powerful impact that he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
They were talking about barbarians and stuff like that.
I also like that.
Or of the court.
Separate. He's not going to take her under the mountain because he already knows there's
the vast difference between and that would be a thing. If Tamlin was going to consider anything, you should blow out an entire wing and make it all windows so that she feels comfortable.
And there's just so many things.
But that was another thing too that was interesting about Roseanne. That is do they even notice that you changed? Do they even care?
I was just about to say it because I'm the fact that when he got mad at her or whatever and they got her the apology gift of the paint, when she hasn't been painting for 3 months. Yeah. Are you stupid?
At that point it was more than 3 months.
Yeah, it had been but I was just so angry because I'm how
oblivious.
Roseanne's not even. Granted,
he has that connection.
But also, if I am waking up with night terrors every night and so bad that I'm throwing up, and she's oh, I don't know if he doesn't wake or doesn't. Get up with me. Come rub my back.
Hold my hair.
Do something. Yeah. Support me and talk to me. If you're waking up, I'll do the same. They're not a partnership at all. Her and Roseanne are
and all they do is have sex.
Literally, they don't talk. They don't do anything.
And I don't know if I appreciated that part. When she was we don't. The author was they only know how to communicate through the flesh. And I'm I was I get what we're reading. I understand, but at this point, you're building character development, and I feel that's just kind of
it's no partnership whatsoever.
Zero.
It's so annoying.
So
I don't like it.
Where do we think that this leaves us off for the wedding?
Well. Because she already talked to him saying, I don't feel...
If you're going to keep doing this to me, then I'm not going to marry you.
I'm not going to marry you because I'm not feeling suffocated. And I was Snapchatting my friend Mackenzie when I was reading because it was their wedding. And I literally am Snapchatting him where the fuck is Roseanne? Because let me tell you, where is he? It's the wedding day. Where is he? And then obviously he showed up and I was yes.
See,
Because I was pissed if they were.
when you're doing those Snapchats, feel free to write down whatever you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
actually feel like I
know.
saved most of them. So
But that would be like the good part, because then
Yeah.
you can just use those. But anyway, we started talking about this a little bit too, and I agree with you on like wondering where Rosand was for those many, many months. Because it was 3 months before he ended up showing up.
He was like, I was giving you some time. Probably because he realizes that she just went through something super traumatic.
He was being empathetic.
He was being a good
Well, maybe that's what it comes down to. Like, his powers are all telekinetic, right? He deals with telepathy and all that stuff. So maybe he has more empathy than Tamlin does.
Maybe he's not a fucking jackass.
That too.
I'm sorry. I'm so against
we're only 13 chapters, 12 chapters in.
But I'm so against.
We'll give it time. But I also
don't like.
Feyre kind of pisses me off a little bit. She don't smack a gift horse in the mouth. Like, calm down. Like, he's not doing anything to you. He's giving you complete free reign. He's also trying to teach you.
Yeah.
He's trying to teach you. I'm like, no.
Absolutely.
Like, Rosand has done nothing. Like, he has done nothing but prove his loyalty.
He wants to teach you to read.
Teach you how to block his power.
His power.
I'm like, as soon as someone offers me that, I'm jumping on it.
Literally, I'd be like, and as soon as he was like, you can come here whenever, even not our week, I was like, I know that it's gonna be soon.
But the thing that also pisses me off is, like, as soon as she got the hint of powers and he said, have you tried to train them? I would have been like, teach me.
Oh, absolutely.
Teach me right now, because my husband, my baby daddy, whatever he is not going to.
Is not paying attention to me whatsoever.
He won't even let me leave the grounds.
I am so frustrated with him. I want to punch him in the face. But Rosand, love him. Yeah. And I like his cousin. Morgan.
Yeah.
AK Moore. Love her.
Yeah.
She's like, you brought me my new friend. I'm like, yeah, but she doesn't actually. I think Lucian is the closest thing to like a friend.
Which that's also gone away. And so it was the Ianthe chick.
And
who seems like she's got her own motivations.
Friend.
Yeah.
She's a handler. She's not a friend.
Yeah.
Alice is more of a friend than her. Because I think Alice is
the one that called.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she called him or if he felt it because she did something. She was like, I feel ice. I feel fire. So I think got called and then Alice just let them.
He's a fantastic piece.
Yes.
Do you remember the Obscurial?
Yes.
I feel like that's what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just blowing up.
But I feel like Alice is more loyal to Feyre because she got her boys back.
Exactly, yeah.
So she's like, I don't care. I'm more loyal to Feyre because that's all.
Which I think that the direction this is probably going to end up going, I could be entirely wrong, is that she will become like the leader of the Fae on Corinthian. Just because she has.
Well, because she's going to be a high lady.
Yeah, and she has the abilities of all courts.
That pissed me off too.
Yeah, there's no
that Tamlin did a high lady. And then Rosand's like, no, that's not true. I really dislike Tamlin, if you guys haven't figured that out.
So speaking of being a high lady, let's talk about Feyre's power dynamics now with her ability as a high fae and what her influence is and how that affects her relationship with Tamlin. I think with the idea or the prospect of just even like, as much as Tamlin didn't want to be a High Lord, I feel like and I will give him a little bit of grace, he probably has a sense of protectiveness to her.
I think that he has love for her.
I feel like this is the extreme version of
in love with her.
Oh, it's like Maleficent.
Oh my god, I cried so bad. Well, because that was like represented.
Yeah. But I feel like it was the king in Maleficent. He thinks he's protecting her so well that like forcing her into seclusion and to hide and to be stuck somewhere is the only way that he can protect her, and that's his belief system.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
this is where like it goes to madness, right? Where it becomes excess in a sense. And I feel like that's where it is. I think
that he is controlling and obsessive.
And I think that it's this is what I mean by the power dynamic though, is when she gave
I know she was so much more powerful than Tamlin.
I wasn't talking about physical power. I was talking about her power within the court when the tithe was happening, and she gave the water wreath I love that. And then she got in Pamela's face about it at the dinner table.
Someone who's a
Yeah.
good girl.
I know. That's the thing is like, I think,
We should just say like,
and this is the thing is maybe this is going to come up later on in the book, but this whole like, she is not weak.
no,
She
because
has nothing to be afraid of. And on top of
and
that,
she's never
if I
been
found
weak.
out that I have the ability to protect myself unintentionally with a force field, fuck everyone.
I would just be training on my own.
I wouldn't
I'd
even be training. I'd
I'd
be
be
like,
like, go tell Tamlin.
yeah, fuck with me.
Go do it.
Get at me, bro.
And mind you, I know, like, if I was in her position to, like, plan a wedding and just stay home and do nothing, I personally would love that.
No.
Because, I mean, I would love to plan a wedding.
I feel like there would be so many other things that I'd want to do.
Well, if
first.
I felt that I had powers, I obviously would be like, no. But at
Not
first,
even
she
that,
didn't
but
know.
like the fact that you now like, I would explore the entire court first. I would go countryside to countryside, and then if I had the ability to, I would go visit and experience some of the other courts just to see because she's seen so far.
But I don't know. I mean, that I feel like I might take a step back because of everything the traumatic
just saying
stuff,
that
and
that-
you don't know anybody in any courts.
Fair, but what I'm thinking is that all of that would take precedence before me trying to focus on a wedding.
Yeah.
And it also
You know
seems
me, I
kind
just
of
love planning events.
yeah. which
Oh,
is-
I also would not, if they were like, oh, put this ugly dress on, I'd be like, no.
But that's the thing too. Wasn't there like a solstice of some kind that happened too? Not I know it happened in the last book, but there was another thing before the tide.
Yes, it was.
It was another holiday that Amaranthia had,
Yeah.
Shut
I don't know if it
down.
was like a solstice.
but I feel
it
like
was
that
just
would be
like
something
a-
I would like. I'd want to plan that.
Yeah.
I would do that before the wedding,
Yeah.
and like let's get the village set up first. Like
Yeah.
let's
Well,
get
because
that all
that is,
taken
I guess
care
that's
of
fair. When I say I would want to plan a wedding, I would want to plan it in a few
in
months.
3 months.
I'd be like, we can get married next year. Everyone chill out. It's fine. Yeah,
We're at 6.
Okay.
We're good. We're in the right. I've been like slowly going down.
Okay. Yeah, there was just a lot of issues that I had with the was it spring court now?
Yeah.
I didn't love it. Because exploring the other courts, like she already knew she wouldn't get to go to night court.
Yeah. Well, she had an
I
inkling that
wouldn't-
she would end up going to the night court. She wasn't sure it was going to happen, especially after even show up 3 months.
I wouldn't want to go to autumn court because only the mom was nice.
And the dad also gave her. a portion
Well,
of his
at
power.
the end of things, but like speaking to Lucian, I would want to
Yeah.
go meet your family that tried to kill you.
No, and that's the thing. I'm not saying you have to go meet people there. Like, I would just want to explore the
but I
actual.
don't
like,
think you
terrain,
can go unless they let you into their court.
which we still haven't heard about yet. So
No, I feel like they've said like unless you have.
just threats at the border, but isn't the spring court the one that's closest water-wise to Hyperion or whatever it is?
Hybern is like here, and then Prithian's here.
And the
and then
spring court.
and
Yeah.
whatever court is like boom,
Yeah.
boom. And then the mortal lands, obviously.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
The next question, we're talking
Right.
about Lucian's role.
Oh, what's our thoughts on
Yeah.
I loved it.
So
I absolutely loved it because she also didn't want to get married. He
yeah,
listened to
Razan showing
her.
up at the wedding, he was like, "You kept on begging for
You
someone to
were
save
begging.
you."
Yeah.
Which again, I was like, she's feeling trapped. She's gonna continue to feel trapped because she's trapped into the. She may not be trapped into a quote unquote bargain with Tamlin,
Mhm.
but I feel like she has an obligation on the sense that she feels like she is trapped there,
Well, yeah.
and that
Well,
just,
and then he just kept
that just
getting,
kept getting bigger
And it
and
was just
bigger
all
and
of
worse
these
and worse.
scars.
Yeah,
and then he's like, everything's fine, it's fine, but
Yeah.
let me have these 80 people just watching you all the
all
time.
You're not allowed to go ride anywhere. You're not allowed to go anywhere or do anything that you used to do when you were a mortal.
You put yourself in way more dangerous places when you were immortal in the mortal realm.
Yeah.
I just fuck Tamlin.
It's interesting to think like it's proving that Rasanne's bargain is more of a benefit than it was a detriment.
Absolutely. I feel like especially because really she's only had what 2 weeks there.
So far, 2 weeks.
It's
Yeah,
been like
we left
and
off with her
kind of-
showing up before the 2 weeks.
Well,
Before another week.
Well, yeah, because he trapped her
Yeah.
in there. That's his fault. I can't wait until he either shows up to night court or and Rizan's like, no, fuck you. You literally trapped her.
That's funny.
You literally trapped her.
Yeah.
Like, what did you expect? She was begging to go with you. Begging. You won't train her on her powers, even though she right now can't control them.
Yeah. And
you almost hurt her, so good thing she does have powers.
That's where it's making me think that the obscurial thing is a really good association with her, because she's going to get to the point where like her powers are going to grow and become stronger. And the sooner she learns to control them, the better, because if she doesn't learn to control them, they will control her and destroy her.
Which I don't think Roseanne will let that happen.
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
And like that's why he kept on whispering or telepathically connecting with her and saying, push him, follow him. And then it just backfired. But
because he didn't think because I think Tamlin hates Roseanne, but I don't think necessarily Roseanne hates Tamlin, because it even is shown. I'm just so annoyed with everything Tamlin does. Because as soon as she got back, this is another thing in my lost note. As soon as she got back from the first week, she's like, I haven't seen you in a week. This is so exciting. It's my homecoming. Like, I just want to be with you. And he immediately was like, no, tell me everything.
Everything, every detail.
She's like, I literally learned to read.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, actually, he tells me things. He lets me know what's going on. Yeah. He lets me be involved.
Speaking of which, that's something that I wanted to talk about too, and it's not even a question in there, and since we're going to lose that anyway, it's probably a good idea that we just drift. But I feel like he is Rasan is intentionally cluing her in on details.
Because he knows that Tamlin's not. And he's like, I need you. And he did tell her, like, I need you.
Yeah.
Because I did see here something about Feyre as a pawn, because she feels like she's a pawn because he wants to. And he's like, no, I want you to be a partner. Yeah. I want you to fight with me. Because
I think you're going to be important in the war to come.
Because he also was fighting against the fairies that wanted to control and kill all the mortals or whatever.
Yeah.
He was fighting against that, which I feel like goes against a lot of the things we originally thought in the first book. He's so much different, but it was because he kind of had to play a part. So he wasn't treated even worse. I mean, he was treated terribly, but not terribly in the way of like.
I think there was a sense of self-sacrificing to save the people.
Yep.
To save the court that he's from, which is something that doesn't seem to be constant in the fairy world.
Yeah, no, I love Roseanne, hate Tamlin. I'm gonna say it a million times. Watch, this is all gonna come to fucking bite me in the ass.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not ready to say that yet. I feel like we still haven't met all of the characters because we've got some references to some other Haines.
Cassian was one, and I know I've heard Cassian.
I've heard it too. I've seen it
in the one.
Yeah. I've seen it on social media, so I know it exists.
It's so hard now because I'll start seeing things, but I know that we're so early that I'm like, skip it!
Well, it's because we started posting things for this, and so now we're starting, like, our algorithms are picking up on it.
And I have to, like, try and skip it because if I see Feyre or anything like that, I'm like, I don't want.
My thing that I keep on coming across is cosplays. Like, people cosplaying these people.
No, mine is, like Feyre with blah, blah, blah. So I do have, like, I saw a little, like, spoiler. But it wasn't anything like that spoiled anything important.
But that's a do you believe that Rasan's claim that he's helping Feyre out of concern, or do you think that he has it for an ulterior motive? He is already
both.
I was gonna say
both.
He's definitely, but I don't think it's an ulterior motive. I think he's clearly stated exactly what
it's not ulterior. It's not a secret. He literally said, "I want you to fight with me."
I think that the only ulterior motive might be that he's probably secretly in love with her too.
Oh, absolutely.
That might be the ulterior
100%.
I can't wait until there's a foursome.
I don't think there will be because
you know what? I can dream.
I know.
A boy can dream.
You should read From Blood to Ash or whatever. It's not foursome, but there is some multiples in there.
There's some risky bits. I like that in the first chapter of this book, we got more of a detailed sex scene than we did in the entire
and I was
first
still
book.
barely
Exactly. I was like, And she's like, the thickness of him. And I was like, that's all we're getting?
That's all we're getting.
That's all. That's it.
Come on, Sarah.
Is it a beer
Isn't it
can?
Sarah J. Maas?
Or is it
Yeah.
like her water bottle? Like I need context.
Well, that would be terrible.
A lot of poppers and a lot of deep breathing.
I would be like, actually, no, thanks.
You know what I'm good.
You know what?
Seriously, a guy hit me up on Sniffies and he was like, oh, I want to do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh, cool. Sends me all the dick pics. And I was like, I need like a day and a half to prepare because that is way too big. Like, sir.
Sometimes, like, I'm like, oh, big dicks. But I'm like, sometimes
No.
you don't.
It doesn't need
It's
to
not
be.
how it doesn't work.
No.
I mean, that's not. And I know full well, like, especially for like my body is prepared to like have a baby.
Yeah.
But like not just no.
It comes out. That's not the way this works.
No, that's not working for me.
And like I know that like for me, my anatomy like can shape to whatever it needs to shape. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be like 50 years old and have a blown out booty hole. Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
No blown out booty
No
holes
blown
over
out
here.
or vaginas.
Or vaginas.
No blown out body parts.
Vaginas do back together.
So does the booty hole, but
It's like they literally shove out. Babe. As little as so I have a nephew and we
10 centimeters is really not a lot of space.
no, and it's like he's so teeny tiny, but then I think about
That came out of a vagina.
I'm like, oh Maddie, poor thing.
God.
All of my friends that have babies, I'm like,
You're just walking around with an ice pack permanently attached to your hoo-ha.
they literally have like pads that
Yep.
are like frozen. You stick them in the freezer and
Yep.
you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing in the end.
Just not for me.
Well, still deciding. I don't have that much time. I'm in my 30s.
We're not there yet.
Time is clicking, but
Ugh.
I can't stand anyone in that. So
Honestly, that's what I was thinking about in terms of like, I saw that I went to that karaoke last night and there was this very cute guy there. Somebody that I had met was before. There's like one question left that I'm going to ask and then we're going to move forward. But there was somebody that I had met a couple of times that was already there, just a friend.
was it the guy from Drag Brunch?
No, it was,
You put
their name is Michael. They're somebody that Drew introduced me to a couple of times. We had gone to Voice Box Karaoke and
Voice Box is the
Ravens.
one where it's just.
yeah, it's just
I would do that karaoke
And
because
then-
I don't care if my friends hear how bad I am.
Raven Manor we went to as well and did like
I
the
wanna-
experience, which
I wanna
was so
do
much fun.
that.
But they happened to be there and I was sitting with them and we were just talking and chatting and catching up because I haven't seen them in a while. But there was this guy that was there by himself, very like attractive, bald man.
And you didn't hit on him?
Dude, I know. And Michael was like, just go say hi. And I was like, honestly, I don't even think I have anything to do for that.
For anyone that doesn't know Bradley, that's shocking. Like it's absolutely. He's the kind of person that like somebody's walking by and he'll be like, I just wanted to let you know that you're an attractive
You are
person.
you are a very well. I think it's because
To
like,
anyone. It doesn't just have to be
a
like
man. It can be anybody.
He just will stop them and sometimes I'm like, Bradley, just let them be. They're just trying to do their job.
Live their lives. I don't know. I think it's because I thought he was so attractive that I was like, ooh.
You got nervous?
Yeah, I was like, no. And then on top of that too, I was like, do I have the energy or the mental capacity right now to strike up a conversation that could potentially lead to something or not? But regardless, either way, I was just like, I mean,
I feel that.
I'm
though.
glad to just look. Thank you.
I have the dating apps and I swipe on them sometimes, and I did
Ugh.
swipe right on somebody yesterday, and I got here. I was like, oh, I never messaged that dude, and I had less than an hour, so I did. I told myself
to give you, we're both pushing each other to
I
at least
told
give
myself I have to because I put in like negative energy into dating, like
at least
literally
3%.
I have to put in at least 3% energy because if I don't find anyone, fine,
Yeah.
but like I should at least try a little bit.
I just don't think that
literally
I
am
personally right now, and it's not so much that I don't have the energy for it. I think it's just that I've been so disappointed lately that I'm just like, there's too much I want right now and too much for me going on right now to try and layer that in as well would just be, I think that would be the breaking point for me. Like, I'm kind of cutting it thin right now, but at the same time,
Yeah.
there are nights though, like, I like deleted Grinder and all that stuff, so I don't actually have most of the apps anymore, but
I saw a Tinder that
I have Tinder. I have Tinder and I have Scruff. That's all I have. Yeah. Which I never had any success on Scruff, which is fine. It's fun to look.
That's
Um,
it's mainly like a game for me. I have Hinge and Bumble, and it's mainly just me being like, honestly, it's mainly me going, no, no.
I
no,
almost
no.
considered downloading Grinder last night to see if he was on there. And then all I was going to do was message him and be like, hey, you're kind of hot. I don't want to hook up. I wouldn't mind, like, I just wouldn't mind cuddling with somebody on the couch and watching a movie, though.
See, mine is more like
That's what I need, though, is I just need
Yeah.
somebody I can call and be like, can we just cuddle for a couple of hours and then you go home?
I don't want that.
I do.
It's like, oh, you're breathing on me, and I don't like it. Like maybe just a random make out here and there.
Ugh, I don't even want to do that. Like, I just want to be physically close to somebody. Is really all it comes down to.
I'll come cuddle you.
Right? I'm like, this is perfect. She got really close with me on Saturday too because we were both trying to hide from the
I
rain.
put like my head on his shoulder, and he literally was like, "This is the first time he's cuddled me."
Like, this is the most intimate you've ever been with me.
I think that's not true. I feel like I put you on your mouth.
Yeah, we'd kiss on the mouth.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought we were going to continue to do that, but it doesn't seem to have happened.
I feel like it's because most of the time I literally am just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
I just am not a super
Which is
touchy person.
And I know this about you.
So,
which is why when I saw everyone on Saturday,
because they are
I
all
hugged everyone else
touchy people.
but you. I was like, I'll hug everyone but you.
One of my friend groups is like the touchiest people ever. Love them so much, and I do give them hugs, but I'm like, I don't feel like we need to be touching 24/7. But I do it. It's not like I'm going to push people off me.
Except for that one guy.
If I don't know you, absolutely. I've definitely pushed a lot of people. Like I literally be like, stiff arm.
When we went and did that brunch at Kim's, I was like, I don't need to hug you. I was like,
they all were
exactly. I'm watching you and I'm laughing internally like,
Do you ever really about the worst thing that it's not the worst thing that's happened to me? There was when I was at the dealership, we got these like Christmas baskets or something. But to get it, you like walk through this like receiving line and you're giving I knew one of the people and it was like our GM
and they were all the way at the end of the line.
So I'm hugging, like you had to hug all of these people. And I'm like, this is the most uncomfortable thing for me because I don't know these people. And they're like giving you real hugs. It wasn't even just like the side hugs. And I'm like, I literally want to cry right now because I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I should be better about it. And my family are like touchy people. Like they're huggers. I just don't think it's necessary. I'm good with like a
color.
I've been trying to teach everyone just
the hand hugs.
I just, I love it. You can give a little rub, give a little pat. I think that's sufficient.
That's a safe goodbye.
Yeah. I'll sit like close with people or like I'll lean like this. Like this is fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But I don't need to like
No. And that's the thing is I wanted some like when I'm in that kind of mood, I want something a little bit more than friendship intimacy.
Yeah.
I'm with a potential kiss or two. But I just like lately, especially, I just haven't had the interest to be sexual with somebody. Like because I'm always
See, I don't want to say I'm like a friends with benefits situation.
No, I would love that as long as I could guarantee that it was going to be good.
Well, you try it once, and if it doesn't work out, you go back to just
but
friends.
then you have to like turn them and burn them. You have to keep on trying until you find someone, and it's just like that's the energy I don't have.
Yeah.
Basically, the final question before we kind of have our end of the session, but we touched on it a little bit, and I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper, if we can, into the idea and the concept of Feyre becoming a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that war is coming.
Right.
We know that Tamlin will not let her train or believe that it's happening. He's almost like a anti-vaxxer. It's not real. bad. I can't believe that stuff happened.
There's so many things.
But I think that until she realizes her own self-power and self-worth, she will be able to be used as a pawn. And I think it could be from any side.
Yeah.
Because I think that she's always going to have distrust for Razan, even though he's been nothing but like
Even when he was
100%
being
authentic. Even when he
dick,
was being cagey,
he
he was
still
still
helping her.
helping. Exactly.
He was rooting for her. He
bet for
was
her. He made sure that she was safe and protected while she was
He
under the mountain.
literally saved her life, and then also used his little mind control to like give
Help
her
her.
the answer.
To help her.
Yeah,
Like-
she's being a little bitch baby.
Well, and I think that that's just like, and I get the like, if you want to take the deep dive into mental health and all that stuff, I'm sure it's like a PTSD response and all that stuff. But like at the same time, though, there's got to be a certain point when you start realizing like maybe this person
Which
has
I
a bit
feel
my best
like
interest out.
This end of the chapter is gonna
A good
be
step
it
in that
because
direction.
like
So
the fact that he put her in an actual
assuming
prison.
that you have read along with us and are at the end of chapter 12, about to embark on chapter 13, where we left off is that Tamlin had imprisoned Feyre in their house.
Yeah.
And she basically went subatomic.
Okay.
And while in that state, which also, it makes me think of Howl's Moving Castle when
That's
he
the other book I'm
dies
reading
his
right now.
hair incorrectly
Yeah.
and just like starts to melt on the floor.
Yeah. Which have you read the book?
No, I've only
Honestly, it's like a lot different. Like there's
wait
a
until you read
lot
Wicked.
of things. I know.
Yeah. Wait until you read Wicked and then go see the movie. You'll be like,
That's why I'm
wait,
like-
what?
So with Harry Potter, I watched the movies, I've read the books.
Yeah.
Howl's, I'm doing the same. And now I'm like, maybe I want to read the book after because I do think I will fall in love with the movie. And then honestly, so far with Howl's, I actually like the movie better. There's
Okay.
things about the book that I'm just kind of like, and I'm not very far into it, but so maybe that will change and things will get explained. But like, there's some things that I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm working my way through Game of Thrones right now, and I already kind of like the book more than the series.
well,
Didn't hate the series, don't
Harry
get me
Potter,
wrong.
I like the books better.
A
There's just,
same.
but I think if I would have read the books and then watched the movies, I wouldn't love the movies as much.
Not
I
for
still
nothing.
love the movies,
I
but like
feel the same way about
books.
Twilight.
Actually,
I know, but like I feel like the movies were so bad,
I need
and
to
the
read
books
those
were just so much better.
and that's those like are there's some things where
They're like a quick read too.
yeah,
They don't take much.
Yeah.
time at all.
but it's like sometimes it's nice to watch the movie and have to read the book because it's instead of getting details taken away,
you're just
you're
getting
getting
more.
details
Which we've had this
added.
conversation before when we talked about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But the idea behind I stand behind what I stand behind what I said, which is that I think that until Feyre self-actualizes and realizes her own power and strength and
But I think that this was the first step.
invulnerability, I think she will easily be.
I'm
used as
also
a
interested
pawn.
because when Moore brought Feyre back, she said, I did exactly what you told me to do.
To Razan, yeah.
So I'm like, so that's why I'm like, fuck Tamlin, but then I'm
Which
also
makes me
like,
think, actually, thinking about that, because remember when Feyre went, or I said her name right,
Yeah.
without even trying. When Feyre was back with Razan, she said, "Where's Morgan?"
Mhm.
And he said, "She's got business elsewhere." I'm wondering if he had her stationed by the spring court
just in case.
just in case, because he
Ooh.
knew something like this was
Well,
going to
because
happen.
he knew that
Because as
Tamlin's,
soon
like,
as
not doing
because
anything.
as soon as she got back from that week, Tamlin reinforced everything. All of the guards went back onto full-fledged duty.
Well, because he at first when they talked, because the whole thing with the water wraith happened,
yeah,
and they had the whole talk, and everything
and she
went
explained
down.
what she needed,
And so he was like, "Okay, I can take some back.
Yeah.
We're good."
which was
we're
after the
talking."
first week of her spending with.
Yes, but then I
Razan.
forget what happened.
The second week, it was like the morning after the fight, and the gift is when Razan came back to pick her up, and he was inside the manor.
But no, but there was something that happened because then he switched and she had all of the guards back, but it wasn't Roseanne. Something else happened. Like there was another threat that I can't remember what it is right now.
I don't think so. I think those were
Yes.
We'll have to look.
Yeah, because I don't remember what it was, but there was another.
We can circle back on this in the next episode.
Yeah, there was another threat or another something that happened, and then she was like, "Well, there goes that."
Yep.
Like, why can't I not? Maybe was it because all the high priestesses got killed?
Or was it the battle that happened on Razan's land? Where you're talking about that?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's something
like
where
that.
he was like, no, like it was like a couple days that she got to
It wasn't
be
even a
with.
couple of days. It was like as soon as they got into the fight, and then she got taken to Razan's, came back, and went after she gave him all the information because he grills her as soon as she returns. They basically came, like all the guards came back on duty for her. Yeah, I'm excited to read more. I'll probably read more tonight.
I definitely am gonna read more.
Yeah, especially since we're filming so close together. That was good for me. But what are your predictions? Just like maybe the next 4 chapters. What are your predictions?
4 chapters.
Okay.
Or I guess like our next section.
Yeah, our next section. What do you think is going to happen in the next 12 chapters?
I mean, obviously there's going to be some complication with either Razan and Tamlin, or Razan and Feyre and Tamlin.
Yeah.
And maybe there's going to be some confrontation because obviously he's going to come back and she's going to be gone. And that's also why I feel like his power is stronger, because he broke
Tamlin's ward.
Yeah, Morgan or whatever said the same thing. She was like, we broke through that like that. Like,
yeah.
Bye.
I wonder if it's almost like vampires where it's an age thing.
Because he fought in the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's an age thing because I know that like with race vampires, the older you are, the stronger you are.
Yeah.
And the harder you are to kill.
And like spring quarter versus
that too.
Versus, because he even said like, now I don't remember what I was talking about.
Talking about a confrontation between Tamlin.
Yeah, there's got to be that, and I also think that she might choose to just stay in the
I was just about to say that. I think she might choose to stay in the
because
court.
and maybe she's not like
not for a long term, but
right now.
No.
But she's like, you know what? We need some space because you're not listening to one thing I say, and you're making me feel because okay, if we take it back to when her and Razan first made the deal, and he kept breaking it, or not breaking in, but like getting her to come out.
Yeah.
He was like, were you always this snooty with Tamlin? And she was like, he never treated me like a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has, and Razan is not. So I think it's going to be, I know we never announced.
I was just about to say that.
Argyle 2021, I think it's Pinot Noir.
It is.
Yeah. But now, so I think that she's just going to be like, or either that or Razan is going to be like, I think you should stay here for a while and maybe just work things out.
I'm very interested to see what the next chapter brings.
I know.
Because that's like...
I'm so excited.
I'm hoping it's not one of her short chapters. Let's start there.
I mean, even if it is, we have the next... I'm probably... What time is it right now?
9.
Oh, okay, I'm staying up till at least 1 a.m. reading. I didn't know that.
Wants it. I'll have half of it done before you even get home.
Well, I have to reread things a lot because I read, but it doesn't like connect in the head.
If I get distracted, I'm fucked.
Yeah, the ADHD is strong in this one. So sometimes I just have to like, I'm reading and I just don't read as fast as you because there's some words too that I will actually say.
No, that's no shame in that game because there's a lot of times that work.
Honestly, there's Taylor Swift songs that I'm like, what does that mean?
I think this book. If I was going to make a prediction, the very end of this book is when we'll finally start having more of a conflict with the Hyberian court.
Well, because I know that
like
not all of these books are about Feyre and her whatever her love interest is. Because I don't think she's going to end up with Tamlin.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think she's going to end up with Razan.
I don't know if I mean, there's too many other players, and just from social media, like the small tidbits I've heard, I don't think that she's going to end up with anybody.
Oh.
I think she's going to be like, I am a one-woman show.
I will just... Because I think...
She'll be like,
I think...
Ianthe or whatever her name is, and just sleep with everybody.
Yeah. Well, Ianthe does want to get married.
Yeah, but she likes to hoe out.
Yeah.
No shame.
No shame.
No
I
shame
love
at
it.
all.
I always want to have a hoe phase, and then I just hate people. So
I had my hoe phase.
I was like a big
Early
makeout
on.
hoe when I was younger, but if I would have not waited until 22, I'm sure I would have been like a regular hoe when I was younger. But
No,
I wasn't giving that away to some douche in Gresham. Thankfully.
I have no comment.
Thankfully.
I did questionable things.
Actually, I've slept with one person when I got high school. When I was it. Okay, you went to high school in like red state. So it
Yeah,
makes
but no,
sense.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, New Hampshire's a blue state.
Well, whatever you were was red.
Yeah, where I was red. But at the same time, it's like, I also wasn't friends with anybody in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of people. I think it's because, like, I moved.
I slept with him way after.
No, not even that. Well, then I did. I mean, he was.
We're not going to use names.
No, not at all. But, I mean, he was. When I was in high school, I was a senior and he was a freshman. And then we hooked up years later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But.
But
to be fair, there was only like 5 gay people in my high school, so it was like we were bound to bump into each other once. But
yeah, I wasn't getting any of the boys that made fun of me when I was younger and told me I was part of the itty bitty titty committee and Flaxy Patsy. Who's laughing now?
as she complains about a heat rash in her boob sweat.
Yeah, when I got boobs and all of those boys that made fun of me for being flat chested were like, "Hey, Kelsey," I'm like, "Get away from me."
You're like, eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, but I did make out with the ones that didn't make fun of me. Most of them, literally.
In the next episode, we will be reading chapters 13 to 20. We will be reading chapters 13 and through 25.
Yeah.
So we will stop at 26. But yes. So if you'd like to join us, feel free to read along.
Please do.
Kelsey will be cooking next week.
Yeah, I think I'm doing like an Asian-inspired meal. Actually, you're halfway cooking. You're going to bring your hummus dumplings. Because I haven't had any.
Not yet, yeah. But it's going to be, you'll see what we're making a couple days before the episode airs, just so that you get an idea. And maybe if you perhaps want to try, you can also make it with your viewing pleasure. Yeah. I figure we could just chat a little bit, or actually we can call it here. No, we can chat a little bit, just because it was like intermission.
Yeah.
The road changed stuff. But I'm trying to keep the episodes close to an hour as possible.
I should have brought my book with me so I could read here.
Yep. No. Right.
Read out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that we were just talking about with high school and dating, especially, it's interesting. Like, I can't even imagine. I've had this conversation before with my therapist about how I feel like I developed later than people.
1,000%.
Just also like mentally too,
100%.
because there's like, I'm thinking about it right now. Like there was one kid that was gay in high school and we were friends. And I didn't find out until it was late into senior year before we were about to graduate. And we weren't friends outside of school. We were just friends in school, that he was also gay. But then like come to find out, and if he ever watches this, which I highly doubt, he was probably in his early 20s. And I'm like getting married to a guy in his 60s and like opening salons in Florida. And I just like, it blows my mind because I think to myself, I'm like, I think I might have done it right.
Yeah.
Like they tell you to go through your 20s and make all your mistakes in your 20s and figure out who you are and then evolve from there.
Yeah.
I think I really did that.
No, everyone. So like I'm 31.
Yeah.
Just turned 31.
Yeah.
In August. And everyone was like, "Are you freaking out?" Like when I turned 30 last year, are you freaking out? I was like, no, because honestly, I think I'm just coming into who I was in my 20s. I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I trusted a lot of people and gave a lot of people more chances than they deserve. And so I'm I definitely developed late in a lot. If things. Like,
I
especially
can't imagine being in my early to
people
mid
used to call me
20s.
shy.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I was engaged in my 20s. I think I was like 24. No, I was 23 when I was engaged.
Yeah, I can't relate.
But
to
he
that.
was close to my age.
I
He was like
literally
only a
had
year or two older than
3
me.
boyfriends, and that's it.
But, like, I just
4
can't-
relationships, 3
I
boyfriends.
just can't imagine, like, I don't know what, especially now thinking about dating someone younger than me, I don't imagine I would know what I have in common at 22 with a 6-year-old.
This is the thing. Age gaps, I think, are fine once you reach. I think you should be 30 and update with, especially a 20-year age gap.
Yeah.
But like, I have a friend, I told you this, who is 32, and he is dating a 20-year-old. And that's just insane to me. Like, you don't have anything in common. Also, I'm very much, your full brain is not developed until you're 25. Your frontal lobe is not developed until you're 25. And that's what helps you make like emotional decisions.
Yeah.
So no matter what, and I'm not saying my friend is dating somebody younger because he like wants control or but there's just naturally a power dynamic that's not healthy. Because at 20 years old, and it could be reversed. It could be a woman that's 30 dating a 20. Like, I wouldn't even really date somebody under 27.
I think that's the part that like sticks with me. Is like, I'm like, you are not getting, and like you, the 21, 22-year-old, you're not getting anything out of
You're not
this.
making
It's
any
this
decisions.
60-year-old that's got some kind of power or
Absolutely.
and like that, it just makes me, I guess what I appreciate the most in my 20s, because I dated people that were much older.
I was 19 dating a 29-year-old.
I
So
was
like
22 and I hooked up with a 40-year-old. Like, I hooked up.
yeah.
I knew there wasn't going to be a relationship.
I feel like hooked up is also different than like a relationship.
Yeah, I knew I didn't want to be in a relationship.
Or even like dating, because I wasn't in a relationship with a 29-year-old, but we were like dating.
I also feel like at that
hanging out, I guess.
I feel like, especially now that I'm 36 and I have my own personal routines. I feel like I have my own routines. I am very particular about all of the things that I have. And I just can't imagine, like, 20 is when you're supposed to be figuring that all out.
Yeah.
I did not want to hook my carriage onto somebody that already had it all figured out.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't sound fun to me at all.
No.
And maybe that works, and I'm not here to judge.
I mean, and every situation is different.
Yeah.
I was 19 dating a 29-year-old. 1,000%, I had all of the power.
Yeah. I just don't want to go into this, and I don't want people listening in to think that I think that there's anything wrong with an age gap, because I don't.
After a certain age.
I think that there's like questionable choices being made, but like, there's got to be a deeper meaning. And I'm curious if they're even still together now. I don't know whatever happened.
I just think
it got to a point where I just stopped. Like, this was the dawn of social media too. So like, he's on his name at this point.
No.
But like,
give me your book.
Not with me. That's an answer, right? I did everything in my power to not get into my yearbook, and I'm not in it.
Oh.
I did everything I could, and I made sure, and I succeeded.
1 year, I think it was it had to be my sophomore.
I don't even have a senior picture.
I don't know why, but I'm in like random photos a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one, I'm not kidding you. It's like a quarter of the page. And I'm like this.
I mean, it tracks.
Like, Sarah, like literally like, and then the caption was like, Kelsey's paying attention and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm clearly not paying attention. I am clearly glaring at somebody. All because
They probably took the picture without your consent.
Oh, it's 100%. Like, I literally am like, I'll find it and send it to you, and maybe we'll like post it on our social media after this airs. But like, I literally, do you guys hate me? Yeah, whoever the year, but people were.
I don't even think I'm in a candid shots.
No, it was.
And you know what's funny? I was in the photography group.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But I wasn't. I don't think they have.
2008, 2009 Barlow yearbook staff.
Rude.
Really fucking rude that you put in.
Rude.
And like not even a little one. It was literally a quarter of a page. Did you hate me? I didn't even know.
Add it in the comments. We want to know.
Literally, like, I know that I could be sassy my whole life. But like literally, if you were in yearbook that year at San Barlow High School, just let me know if you guys hated me or if you truly thought that was a good picture. I would really like to know because obviously I've been holding on to it for
She's not bitter.
almost 20 years.
Not bitter at all.
I'm pissed about it. It's a very 2000 sleeve because I'm pretty sure I'm wearing like a long sleeve Abercrombie or Hollister shirt with like a baby doll tank top over it.
Shocking.
2000s.
Was your navel showing?
No, my navel never showed because me and my sister already got dress coded so much for our shorts that we tried to, and I think it was, from wearing a long sleeve, it was probably like winter. And back then it wasn't really like, I guess a little bit of stomach, but it wasn't really crop tops.
Yeah, crop top season.
It was low.
Honestly,
butt
if we could
crack
just bring
jeans.
back men's crop tops, I'd be happy.
I love them. And the little shorts. I'm like, ooh, be a little slutty. I like it.
If you don't look like a hoochie daddy, I don't want it.
Yeah, I like the little, what is it, the chinos?
Yeah.
The little shorty shorts. I'm like, ooh, I love that.
I think they're called chubbies too, aren't they?
I do believe they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was episode 6. Chapters 1 through 13. 1 to 13, sorry.
Yeah, 1 through 12.
Of Court of Mist and Fury.
The Fury's gonna come in,
Oh,
and I think it's gonna be her Fury.
It's gonna be interesting. I wonder what that stands for. But next week, join us. We'll be doing chapters 13 through 25. And Kelsey will be making food.
This isn't just another note about these chapters because for the wedding, she specifically, I just hated that they weren't listening to her. She specifically said, no red.
Yeah.
No red. Because
and they did red rose petals. Yeah.
There was so many things that aggravated me so much about the spring court, these chapters, because I just so why are you even talking to her?
Yeah. If
you're not going to listen to a single thing she said,
they're just going to use her.
I don't. Fuck IMP, fuck Tamlin.
And with that, we're BK Book Club. Cheers.
Like, follow, subscribe, comment. I think follow and subscribe are the same thing.
Or share.
All of the things.
All of the things. And peace out.